Now, welcome to the topic market structure. We want to discuss market structure. What do we mean by market structure? I mean, obviously, from the literal meaning, market structure. I mean, the structure of market. I mean, first need to first look at the concept. The concept of what market as it relates to what, before we now start looking at the structure of market we can have. Now, let's start. The term market is used by most people to refer to a definite physical location where buyers and sellers meet face to face and exchange goods or services for money. Now, that is obvious that you see people, they define market, a particular location. They define market as a location where buyers and sellers see in contact. They meet, they get in contact for the purpose of exchanging goods and services. That is a narrow definition of of a market. Market is defined as any arrangement in which buyers and sellers get into touch with each other to exchange goods and services using money as a medium of exchange. What we are saying now is that any arrangement whatsoever, either on phone or on computer or on net or in a particular location or anywhere, any means, so far there is a contact between the buyers and the sellers for the purpose of of exchange of goods and services. Why? Using money. The market is in place already. It is not only a particular location, rather it is any arrangement whatsoever. It can be on the water, it can be anywhere, so that there is an arrangement. There is a contact between buyers, a willing buyer and a willing seller. Then market is in place. And you have to know that money must be the only medium of exchange. Buyers and sellers may be anywhere in the world, and instead of actually meeting in a place, they may deal with one another by fax, telephone, telegram, letter, and so on. Therefore, there is no unique classification of market. However, markets are distinguished by factors such as that is this way you can distinguish markets: type of their product or services being traded in, the number of buyers and sellers. You can also use the number of buyers and sellers to distinguish markets. The ease with which each firm enters or leaves the market, the ease at which each firm enters or leaves the market, and the extent to which the participants are aware of opportunity in all parts of the market. Now, in this write-up, we identify and investigate the profit maximizing behavior of firms operating in 4 main types of markets. So we are going to classify our market into 4 main types. We want to now see at what point is this different type of market maximize their profit. Our focus here is just profit maximization. At what point will the market of this nature, of this different market, maximize their profit? Now, these types of market are market structure are we have. 1, the first one is market perfect competition. 2, we have monopoly. 3, we have monopolistic competition. Why the fourth one is oligopoly. Now, this classification is based largely on the number of firms in the industry. So we are using number of firms in the industry to classify this market into into perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly, and monopolistic market. These are the 4 major types of markets that are classified based on the number of firms that are operating in that industry that supplies the goods and services. More specifically, we look at how price and output are determined in each of these markets. In each of these market structures, both in the short and the long run. So we are looking at profit maximization of these 2 markets in the short and the long run, and how output and prices are determined in this type of in these different types of market. Let's start with the first type of market, which is your perfect competition. Now, the characteristics of a perfect competition. Now, before you can explain what a perfect competition market is, you use their characteristics to explain. Their characteristics will tell you what types of markets you're dealing in. Now, the best way to define a perfectly competitive market is to outline the conditions necessary and sufficient for its existence. Now, these are the conditions. 1, for a perfect competition market, there are a large number of buyers and sellers in the market. In that kind of market, you have large number of buyers and sellers. Coming. We have large number of buyers and sellers in that market. Large number of buyers and sellers in the market. So a market where we have large number of buyers and sellers, is a market in which what can be classified as perfect competitive market. There is homogeneous product. The product that are what are not differentiated. The product they are dealing with in that market are not differentiated. They are homogeneous. They are likely the same. They are the same. They are homogeneous. I dealing with homogeneous products. And that one is perfect mobility of resources. You can either move in or move out. You can come in into the industry anytime, and you can go out. There is free movement and what exit and entry into that kind of market. Whenever you see a market that have the perfect mobility of resources, then we have it's a perfect competition market. And the fourth one, perfect knowledge of all relevant information. Now, all the stakeholders in that market should have a perfect knowledge of where they can buy raw material at a very cheaper amount. So there is a perfect knowledge. There is no hidden. It is not hidden. Everybody, if person A knows where they can buy at cheaper price, person B too will also know, because there is a free flow of information in this market. So any market that has these four features combined together is what we call a perfect competitive market or perfect competition market. On the basis of the four prerequisites for perfect competition described above, it is obvious that no industry is perfectly competitive. So there is no industry can exhibit this for combination completely. So there is no perfect competitive firm. There is no perfect one, but there is what I say. There is no perfectly competitive firm, because of what none of these firms can exhibit this for characteristics. Rather, but you can still have a perfect competitive firm in such a way that they still have some level of degree of these characteristics. Now, the only industry in which most of these conditions are met is the farming industry. And in farming industry, there are a large number of buyers and sellers. The products are the same. When you produce egg, it's the same everywhere. There is perfect mobility of resources. You can come in and go out. You can start farming now. You can decide to go out anyhow. 4. There is perfect knowledge of where you can buy your food, your feed, your everything at cheaper price. So, for instance, the egg produced by one poultry farmer is not different from the one produced by another poultry farmer. Hence, the price per crate of uniform sizes will be the same throughout the market. The prices will be the same throughout the market. Now, nevertheless, the model of perfect competition provides a standard by which the actual performance of firms in certain segments of our economy can be compared. Now, let's now look into the short-run equilibrium of a perfect competitive firm. I will not need to note that what is short-run. I've explained that. I think I've explained that. Short-run is a period in time in which at least one of the factors of production remain fixed. A period of time in which a span of period in which at least you see have one factors of production remaining fixed, while others can be variable. At least you should be having one remaining fixed. That's a short run period. Now, in the short run equilibrium of the perfect competitive firm, at what point is a firm maximizing their profit in the short run? That's what short run equilibrium of the perfect competitive firm. And we are discussing competitive firm now. Now, at what is the short run equilibrium? At what point would they be in the equilibrium in the short run? At what point? Now, recall that the firm is in equilibrium at the output level, where profit is maximized. If for a firm to be in equilibrium, it should be at the point where the output where the profit is maximized. So we are not talking about short run equilibrium. It means in the short run, at what point is a perfect competitive firm maximizing their profit? So at what point is a firm maximizing their profit? Because equilibrium is the point of profit maximization. We can as well refer to the short run equilibrium as a short run profit maximization. Also for the perfect competitive firm. That is, the firm will achieve the maximum profit at the output level, where the marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. So the short run equilibrium of the perfect competitive firm is the point where their marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. I've discovered what's marginal cost, what's marginal revenue. Your marginal cost is extra cost you incur as a result of you producing extra units of output, while your marginal revenue is extra revenue you receive as a result of you selling extra units of output. Where this extra cost equals extra revenue, then profit is maximized at that point. Moreover, since marginal revenue are equal to for the perfect competitive firm, moreover, since price and marginal revenue are equal, I hope you know, for perfect competitive firm, the price and is equal to marginal revenue. Why? Because when we say the price is equal to marginal revenue for perfect competitive firm, so because the price is equal to marginal revenue for perfect competitive, it means extra revenue derived from extra sales must be equal to the price for a perfect competitive firm. Why? Because they can't individually adjust the price. The price cannot be divided by adjusted by one firm. It can be what is a collective thing, because even in their characteristics, you can know that there are large buyers and sellers in that market. So for a perfect competitive firm, the price is equal to the marginal revenue. It simply means that what profit maximization point is the point where the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, and your marginal revenue is equal to what? Equal to price. Therefore, the marginal cost must equal to what? Marginal revenue, which is equal to what? The price of a perfect competitive firm. You have to note that. Moreover, since price and marginal revenue are equal for the perfect competitive firm, the profit maximizing rule can be redefined as the output level where what? The marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue is equal to price, and the marginal revenue is rising. It is also necessary that the firm will be operating at the minimum point of its short-run average cost curve. Now, what we are saying at this point is that if a firm wants to maximize their profit, they should be what? They should first be minimizing their what? The minimizing cost, because minimization of cost is a prerequisite for what? For profit maximization. So at profit maximization point, your marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, which is equal to price, and it should be at the lowest point of what? Lowest point of what? Of short run average cost. It means the cost should be at the lowest point. It means the cost should be minimized at that is the point where what? When the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue is equal to marginal price, at the lowest of what? Of short run average cost. If the short run average cost is at the lowest and the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue equal to price at that point, the output level at that point is the output that the firm should be producing or selling. That will allow him to make maximum profit. It is also necessary that the firm will be operating at the minimum point of its short run average cost curve, because cost minimization is a prerequisite for what? For profit maximization. Yeah. Now let's give the graphical illustration. Let's explain using graphs the short-run equilibrium of what? Of perfect competitive firm. You know, I've told you that a perfect competitive firm maximizes profit at the point where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, which is equal to what? Price. So now, and if you say price simply means demand curve, because because ultimately your price function is your demand function. So therefore, at the point where your marginal cost equals to your marginal revenue, then that's the point where your what? And equal to price. That's the point where the output at that point is the output that maximizes profit. Now, what we are saying at this point is that for us to maximize our profits, your marginal cost must equal to your marginal revenue. Now, for us to now get your marginal revenue function, it should be the same thing with the price function. So now, for us to now, and for a perfectly competitive firm, the price function or the demand function that faces it is a perfectly elastic, elastic demand curve, which means that what? If there is any changes in the price, the consumers will go off, will not buy from you. That is what the situation in that market is. So now, if you look at it very well, assuming this is the what? The price section, this is the demand, this is the what? The output axis. Now, the demand function, the price function facing the what? Which is the same thing as the marginal revenue function. Facing the what? The perfectly competitive firm is what? The perfectly elastic demand function. And the perfectly elastic demand function is like this. Look at it, it's like this. If you go and look at the drawing very well, it's like this. It's straight. It means at this price, people are ready to buy everything in the market. But if you change it, then you are on your own. You are at risk of what? Of not even selling anything in that in that market. So that is that. So it means at this price, everything in the market will be what? Will be sold. So that is what? That's the price what? That's the price function, and the same thing as the marginal revenue function. And we're now saying that at the point where the marginal cost equals the what? Marginal revenue, that's the point where the profit is maximized. Now, where is the point where the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue? That's what we were looking for. And you know, marginal revenue is the same thing as what? As the price or demand function, which are given like this. So now, your marginal cost ultimately is what? Is what? Is like this. Your marginal cost. So now, where is the point at which the marginal cost is what? Is moving, is what? Is meeting what? The marginal revenue or the price function. Where is the point? Where is the point? Once you get the point, this is the point. This is the point where the marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. But we should be doing that at the lowest point of the what? Short-run average what? Average cost. Now, what is the short-run average cost? Look at it. Look at the way average cost is like. The average cost, assuming this is your average cost. Short-run average what? Average cost. And this is the short-run marginal cost. Where is the lowest point? The lowest point of short-run average cost is this point. Short-run average cost is this point. But where is the marginal cost equals to marginal revenue? That's this point. So now if you trace this point down, you now trace this point where the what? Where we have the short-run average cost. Look at it. Trace it to the what? To the axis. You realize that this point where the marginal cost equals to the marginal revenue line is what? This point is what? Is the quantity we are looking at. That quantity at that point is the quantity that what? That maximize profit. Well, profit is maximized at the point where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. And this is the marginal cost, and this is the marginal revenue function. Now, they are meeting at this point. That's the Q point. So, but they should be doing that at the lowest point of the short-run marginal cost. And this is the short-run marginal cost. So, if you now trace the short-run marginal cost, you trace it down to the price function, trace it down. It means from here, from P, let's say this is 0, and this point is what? Is R. Now, from 0, if you say 0, rectangle 0, P, 0, P1, let's say this is a T, this point here is T, 0, P1, TQ, rectangle what? Rectangle 0, P1, TQ. If you say 0, P1, TQ, you see this rectangle is the total revenue. Total revenue. Because when we want to find total revenue, how do we find total revenue? Let me explain. Your total revenue will be found by saying your what? Your price times what? Times quantity. And what is it? This is the price and this is the quantity. So all of this total revenue. So out of this total revenue, there should be profit. And the profit must be determined at the point where they have lowest average cost, which is this point. So therefore, if you subtract this cost, because this is short-run average cost, the lower average cost point, you know, it means from this 0R, let's call this place S, 0R SQ, rectangle 0R SQ is the what? Is the cost portion. Is the cost portion. I hope you know, because is the point where the what? The average cost is at the minimum. So therefore, if you now subtract this 0R SQ from total revenue of OP1 TQ, what do you now have? You have this region alone. This region alone is now the profit, because if you say revenue minus cost, what do you have? You have what? The profit. You have what? Profit. So this is what it means. This is the region for what? For profit. And you need to know that this is your what? If you want to find average variable cost, this is the average variable cost. So now, what we are now saying in essence is that this is what? This is what? The average what? The profit section. So it means in the short run, a perfect competitive firm is what? Is making what? Profit. And look at the profit. This is now the what? The profit. Let's go back to the explanation. Let me explain this graph again. This is a graph that explains the short run profit maximization of what? of a what of a perfect competitive firm. You start with what I said at the point where the marginal cost is equal to what marginal revenue. That's the point where you what maximize your profit in the perfect competition. And what's your marginal revenue? My marginal revenue is equal to what? Is equal to price. And a price is a demand function. And a demand function that is facing a perfectly competitive firm is a what? Is a what? Is a perfectly elastic demand function, because any changes in the price of any what of any seller in that market will change the what? The quantity demanded. So therefore, we will send the customers away. So what we're now saying at this point is that a demand function facing a perfectly competitive firm is a what? Is a perfectly elastic demand function. And the perfectly elastic demand function is what is drawn this way. Is what? Is a straight line. That at this price, everything in the market is bought. If this price changes, then nothing will be bought. That's a criteria for what? A perfect competitive firm. Now, and I told you that this is the marginal cost curve. It goes from downward like this upward. So where are they meeting? They are meeting at this point. That's the point of what? Where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. Obviously, that's the what? Profit maximizing point. If you trace it down to the output region, this Q will now be the quantity what? That will maximize, that they need to what? They need to sell, that will maximize their what? Their profit. But if you want to do that, you should be doing that at the lowest of what? Of average cost. It means if you really want to determine what's the profit they made, you should be doing that at the by considering the what? The average cost, the lowest point of it. Where is this is the average cost curve. This is the lowest point of average cost curve. So it means this lowest point of average cost curve, if you compare it with the totality of this diagram, you'll be able to determine your cost. It means so far this is the lowest point. From here, here, that's the total, that's the cost. This is the cost because this is the lowest point of it. Now, but from here, 0P1TQ, that's the revenue. Because of what? Because this is OP1TQ, that's the revenue. So if you now subtract this cost from this total revenue, what do you have? You have this region, shaded region. This shaded region is now what? Is now the profit what? Is now the profit region. So a what? In short run, a perfect competitive firm is what is really making profit. So the figure that we show illustrates the short run profit maximization position for a perfectly competitive firm. The firm maximizes the profit by producing output Q1, where marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue is equal to price. I've shown it to you in the figure. Total revenue is given by the area of the rectangle OP. OP1, OPTQ1. I've told you this is the rectangle. Total revenue OP1TQ1. This is Q1. So while total cost is given by the rectangle ORSQ1. Look at it. ORSQ1. It follows that in the short run, the firm is earning positive economic profit. So there is a positive what? Economic what? Profit, which is represented by the shaded rectangle P1RST. Look at the shaded rectangle P1RST. So this is the profit what? Region. It's making a positive economic profit in the short run. So they can ask you, are they making profit in the short run? I mean, perfect competitive firm. Then you say yes, they're making it, please. That's that. Let's go to long run equilibrium of the perfectly competitive firm. So we are talking about short run. We don't now talk about the long run. If we say long run, what do we mean? Long run is a situation where all the factors of production remain what? Variable. There is no fixed factors of what? Of production. All the factors of production what? Remain variable in the what? In the short in the long run. So what is the profit maximization situation of what? At what point do they maximize profit in the short run? The presence of positive economic profit in the short run encourages new firms to enter the industry. You know, one of the features of perfect competitive firm is that there is a free entry and exit. Because people are now seeing profits, people in the player in the market making positive economic profit. You now see people coming in. So what into the market. One encourages new firms to enter the industry. In fact, it is a wise economic decision for the entrepreneurs to shift their resources. So therefore, in fact, it is a wise economic decision for the entrepreneurs to shift their resources away from those lines of production where variable costs cannot be covered to the one where economic profit can be earned. Now, since there are no barriers to entry, the industry will continue to receive new entrants. That's because of the positive economic profit. So it will attract people to enter the industry. So this will lead to increase in the market supply, because as people are coming in, into the market because of the lure of the profit, economic profit in the short run. What happen? This will lead to the increase in the in the market supply of the product, and the price will fall. You know, if there is an increase in the market of the product because of the influx of these people coming in due to the profit in the short run, you will see that because of that the price will fall continuously until all economic profits are eliminated. And you know, if price is falling, then economic profit will be eliminated. So therefore, in the long run, a perfectly competitive firm will earn normal profit, that is zero economic profit. So they will earn what? Just normal profit. So it means a normal profit is the point where the total revenue is equal to total cost. So that's what they will earn in the long run. Therefore, in the long run, a perfectly competitive firm will earn just normal profit, that is zero economic profit. The firm still stay in business because its resources could earn just as much somewhere else. Now, figure below illustrate the long run profit maximization position of the perfectly competitive firm. The firm is producing output QE, where its long run marginal cost is equal to the price and at the minimum point of its long run average total cost. So let us now look at the diagrammatic representation of this long run situation. Let's explain it diagrammatically. Now, in the long run, what happens? People will be coming into the market to sell, to operate, because of the lure of economic profit in the short run. So what now happens? In the long run, what now happens? So it will be like the graph will look like this. This is the price. As this is this N, or this is the price section, and this is output. Now, normally the demand function or the price function facing a perfectly competitive firm still remain the same. It means at this point, these are this price. The marginal revenue is equal to what? The marginal revenue is equal to what? Is equal to average revenue, and it's equal to what? It's equal to what? The demand or the price. Now, what is the marginal cost? Long run margin. We are in the long run. Sorry, long run marginal cost. What is the long run marginal cost like? This is the long run marginal cost. Assuming this is our long run marginal cost. What is the point of your intersection? This is the point, and if you trace the point out, look at it. This is the Q. This Q. Now, what is the long run average cost? At the lowest point of the average cost, look at it. Long run average cost. The long run average cost is having its lowest point at this point. So, and at the same point too, that is when you have what? The marginal cost equals to what? Marginal revenue. So this point is the point of the quantity to be produced. So let's call this point S, and this LMC, LAC, and this is P. So now, in this situation now, you will now realize that what there is no profit in the long run. Meaning that what? The point where the marginal cost is equal to the marginal revenue. This is the point, and it's at the point where the average cost is at the lowest. So there is no profit at all. This is just the price times cost. This is just the revenue. You know, revenue is equal to what? Equal to cost. Marginal total revenue is equal to cost. So there is no profit at this point. So there is no profit, unlike in the short run. Look at the short run again. Unlike in the short run, when there is a profit element. In this case now, there is no profit element, rather there is just normal profit situation. So that is that. So let's go back to our table. Figure that we drew then illustrate the long run profit maximization position of the perfectly competitive firm. Now, the firm is producing the firm is producing output QE. Now look at the output, please. Output QE, where its long run marginal cost is equal to the price. Like, where is long run marginal cost? This is marginal cost is equal to the price. Look at the price line. Is equal to the price, and at minimum point of this long run average total cost. At minimum point of the long run average total cost. This is the minimum point of the long run average total cost. This is represented by the what? By the area of what rectangle OPESQE. So this OPESQE. 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 This is PE. OPE. This is SQE. So that's the rectangle. This is represented by the what? By the area of the rectangle OPESQE. All firms just break even. It means just break even. You know, there is no gain or profit in the long run. So that's just a situation of long run situation of the what? Of a perfectly competitive firm. So what are the advantages of perfect competition? The advantages are what? One, consumers pay the lowest possible price because they are, you know, everybody is aware of all the information in the market. So they pay the lowest possible. If individual seller cannot just adjust the price because it's a perfect competitive environment. So the price should always be the same. Obviously they should be similar. So you get, you know, the competition is so high that you get the lowest possible price as a consumer. That's the first one. The second one is that resources are more efficiently utilized. The reason why they know that they are in competitive environment, they will efficiently utilize their resources. It will encourage them to efficiently utilize their resources. The minimum costs are incurred on sales promotion. There is no need for sales promotion. Why? Because everybody is selling similar goods, homogeneous goods. What's now the need? So like you are selling egg, I'm selling egg. What's the difference? No promotional cost again. So what are the disadvantages of perfect competition? One, firms made little or no profit. They hardly profit, mostly in the long run. They don't make profit, they just break even. So that's one of the disadvantages. Invention and innovation are rare. No, it's only the profits that drive what? Innovation. If there is no profit, if there is no likelihood of profit, then what is now need for innovation and invention? People just remain stagnant in that kind of market. Social costs are disregarded. There is no need of social responsibilities and all that. You know, social costs are disregarded. Now, social costs are disregarded. I mean, they don't bother about the externalities, the externalities in the environment, as in pollution and all that. They don't bother. But there is no profit incentives. 4. Problems of income inequality are worsened, and these are the disadvantages. Let's go into another market. Monopoly. And when we say monopoly, what do we mean? We use characteristics of monopoly to explain monopoly. Now let's start. What are the characteristics of a monopoly market? Monopoly is a market structure that is the extreme opposite of a perfect competition. They are the extreme opposite of perfect competition. Simply defined, a monopoly is a form of a market organization in which what? Is a form of market organization in which there is a single firm producing a commodity for which there are no close substitutes. In which there is a single firm producing a commodity. There is a single firm producing a commodity for which there are no close substitutes. So when you are having in a market in which a single firm produces what? A commodity, and that commodity is not what? Is not having a close substitute. It can't be easily replaceable. It's not easily replaceable. That kind of environment or market is what we call a monopoly. So there is a single player in that market. This is a sharp contrast to what? To perfect competition. The monopolist is a price seller. Is a price seller, because the single firm constitutes. We are talking the price setter. They are to talk about setter here. This is T. Is a price setter because the single firm constitutes the industry. I mean, the monopoly is the one that set the price because he's the one controlling the industry. By reducing his output, he can manipulate his output and price to achieve his own gain. And the gain of a monopolist is what? Is profit. Now, he can decide to reduce his output, therefore forcing the price up. He can do that because he's the only player in the market. And he can decide to what? Reduce the price, therefore forcing the output up. So these are the way monopoly can work, can use in achieving his objectives. Now, the single firm constitutes the industry. By reducing its output, it can force the price up, and by increasing it, the price can be forced down. So it can manipulate the price and output to achieve its objectives. Therefore, monopoly determines simultaneously both its rate of output and its price. Monopolies determine its rate of output and its price. So why in a perfect competition, there is nothing like a perfect competitor cannot determine its output and its price. This is unlike perfect competition, in which what? In which the firm is a what? Is a price taker. They are to be taker here, please. They just take price which the market set. That's under perfect competition, and can only influence its output. Furthermore, since the firm is the only one in the industry, its demand curve is also the market curve. The firm demand curve is downward sloping because lower prices are required if larger quantities are to be sold. So this is like, you know, it is a downward sloping something. If you have it this way, it's a downward sloping because at increase in price, there will be a reduction in what? In output. While at reduction in price, there will be increase in what? In output. That is why it is what? It is downward sloping, because they are the only one, or they are the only player in the market. That is, each successive to be sold. That is, each successive additional unit of output will be sold at a lower price. Consequently, marginal revenue is less than the price at each level of output. So you need to note this point, that for a monopolist, the marginal revenue of a monopolist, which is the extra revenue derived as a result of him selling extra units of output, is what? Is always below the price. So it means the price of a monopoly is always more than what? More than is what? Is marginal revenue. The price of a monopolist is always more than the what? The marginal revenue. That is, each successive additional, consequently marginal revenue is less than the what? The price at each level of what? Of output. This explains why both the demand curve and the marginal revenue curve slopes downward, but with the marginal revenue curves falling under the demand curve. I hope you know that the marginal revenue of a monopolist is sure to be less than what? To be less than the marginal revenue of a monopoly is what? Is less than what? Is less than the price. So therefore, the marginal revenue curve is falling under the what? Demand curve. Let's look at the sources of monopoly power. At what point? What are the sources of monopoly power? Monopoly power are gotten from where? 1. Control of the entire supply of basic input. If the basic input in the production of a particular product is what? Is controlled by just an individual, that individual can manipulate it for his what? To his own advantage. That means the control of the what? Entire supply of a basic input. He can manipulate it so that he can have the whole sole producer or supplier of that particular good. 2. The large scale production and economies of scale. Large scale production and if a producer can produce in large scale, he can decide to reduce his price, therefore forcing other people out of the market. So that is what another way he can gain monopoly power. Another one is franchise or patent. There is a patent on a particular product that it means the government go confer the right of sales or purchase or production of that particular product on just an individual or a firm, and nobody is having other right to venture into it. Then that kind of power can also gain monopoly power through that way. State monopoly, that's in terms of NEPA, PhD. And when states can take control of the production of that particular product, they can That's another source of monopoly. And merger and acquisition. Through merger and acquisition, a firm that merge together can take control of the whole market. That's that. Let's now look at the short-run equilibrium for a monopolist. What is the short-run equilibrium for a monopolist? The short-run equilibrium for a monopolist. The monopolist attains its profit maximizing objective by following exactly the same rules as the perfect competition. So we are following the same rules as the perfect competition to achieve our objectives of profit maximization under this monopoly. So monopolies and perfect competition, they follow the same rules, which simply means marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue. That is the point.